Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Jessica.
Today we're heading north on Route 16 to the greatest place on earth. The place where I was raised, a place called Shop Hollow. And today we're going to be naming Shop Hollow locations. I know I've been saying that we're going to be doing this for a long time, but today is today. We're finally going to do it. I keep putting my hand in front of you. I better move my hand out of the way. You might bite my finger or something. But today we're headed to a place that was just a magical place to be raised. It's about a 2-mile stretch, but it has a lot of different locations. So we're going to be doing Shop Hollow locations. What's so great about Shop Hollow? The thing that makes Shop Hollow great was its people. The people were just great people. It's known of a place where a lot of preachers come from, and that's the most important part. Yeah. But it wasn't just preachers, also musicians, business owners, doctors, lawyers, accountants.
They come right out of there.
Former Miss America, Miss Tennessee, Miss West Virginia, all these came from this one little hollow. And guess what?
We're going to show y'all.
Yeah, we're going there, right? We're on our way, and so just bear with us. Which way are we going? We're going to go north on Route 16, okay? Okay, now, look at here. Got to go to War, West Virginia. There's the Welcome to War, West Virginia sign. And there he is. Here on Route 16, we're now on newly paved road. Look at that. The City of War welcomes you. So hopefully we'll be welcomed here. Always are. But now let's drive on through and let's see what all we can find. So we're driving through. We're finally in city limits. Around the last big curve of about 75 or 80 curves. Here on the curvy Route 16. All the good points of the road area to put roads in was given priority to the railroad. So the car routes had to be put on the side of a mountain to just to try to get you from one little town to the other. So we're coming down, and to the right there is John's Branch, but we're not going to focus on War today. We're going to go up to the home. We're getting on down into town here. Remember, it used to be Powers Enterprises there. There's nothing there now. This was the home of an old car dealership. I think it was a Dodge Chrysler, maybe. And the famous Dry Fork River. Get on into town. We got through the town of War now, and turn right here on Warrior Mine Road, right beside Grant's. Glen Hatcher Way. That's the site of the old school. It's now War Community Park. Fire department. You see now, you can start seeing the effects of the flood that hit here just about a month ago. Common sight in War is most of the ATVs going by. Yes, now when I was growing up, this here was Hell's Market. And then my Uncle Otis Hicks bought it. Made a friendly market. See more of the effects of the storm that hit. To the left, you got William Pokey Hill. Of course, it's William Pocahontas Coal Company. Now in Warrior Hollow, right here is what they call this. Right here was Pete Hash's store. Used to be there, and then they made apartments out of it. Now it's completely gone. Now what we're getting ready to move into up here now is the site of the old War Coal Company. Warrior Coal Company. And it's named after War Creek. If you can see the sign right there, it says War Creek Road. And look what the storm did. This last flood here, it hit about a month ago, and it just messed the roads up. It messed up everything. Now this is now War Park right here, Warrior Mine Park, I guess. Now this is the site of the old Warrior Coal Company, Tipple. And when I was a kid, this was a coal and coal slate and different things. You got the library over on this side, War Public Library. And now this road was not here. This road was the railroad tracks back in the 70s when I grew up. This was actually the way I remember trains actually come through here. And the old bridge went across over there. And the bridge came straight across. And look, went right up the hollow right here. And this old willow tree right here's got a lot of memories. This thing is really, really old. Got a sign for the church. A willow tree, the limbs used to go all the way. Look how old it is. You can see a good look at it there. The limbs used to come all the way down to the road. And as cars come by, they would where the tree would actually weep, and the limbs would come down. They would go across the cars. But this is the first hill going into Shop Hollow. That's a lot of cars on the road. And of course it's one lane, so it takes a little bit to get by. Now this area we're in right now, this is the tram road. This is what our first point. Okay, we went from the mouth of the hollow. It's when we first turned. It's what they call the mouth of the hollow. And then when it first turns, it goes up to what they call the tram road. Now the old tram road is where they had the tram trolleys that hauled the coal and the people, supplies and everything else. And they went around the tram road, which goes all the way to the other end of Warrior Mines up there. Now if you notice, one thing about Shop Hollow, the hollow ends. And there's no creek. It's because we're over top of cover. Now under this place right here, under this road right here, is a tunnel that the water goes through. It goes all the way down to the other side, and it crosses the tram road crosses the hollow right there, as you can see.
Crazy.
Just got that people that won't think I'm crazy. I got some pretty flowers. This area right here was now where Shop Hollow gets its name from. See some of the old mining equipment, different things. This was the old shop was built right here. Now when I was young, it was milled out of different rocks. Look back at where the shop was. Now the shop was where they built, worked on different mining equipment. They kept different parts and stuff. It was a garage. A lot of the mining equipment worked off of the trolleys, which was DC power, electricity, that would make the equipment go, hauling the coal in and out, and the men in and out, and supplies in and out. So the shop was there to work on everything. And the hollow behind the shop, of course, they called Shop Hollow. And that's where we're at now. This is probably the greatest Appalachian hollow that there is. The amount of people that grew up in this hollow and the success they had would absolutely blow your mind. You had people come out of this hollow that just went on to be so successful, the people that have their roots here. So finally we come to our first crossroad. Now this hill right here was called Powderhouse Hill. I don't know how many people remember it, but it used to be a stone powder house right here. Now the powder house had to be separated from everything else because you didn't want the powder, of course, to explode and hurt people. So they built it out of something that was totally flame proof and fireproof, which was rock. to the big Powderhouse Hill. Now the road to the right goes up to what is called the antenna towers. All the antennas for war cable and now the cell phone tower is up this road. Also, one of the greatest men to ever live in this hollow by the name of Visor Muncie lived up here. And Clary Ruford lived up here. Now I was talking about some famous people that come out of this hollow up here. One was the general giant at 6'7", Walter Muncie, who lived up this road. And also Carl Ruford. Carl Ruford was a famous, well-known artist who done folk music, country music, blues music, and actually had songs in the TV series Better Call Saul. All right, and up on the hill, I was talking about people who were in beauty pageants. There was a Miss West Virginia, and her daughter also was Miss Tennessee and Miss 4 USA. And the roots come from right here on this hill. And so we're gonna go on up Powderhouse Hill, and we're gonna try to explore a few more things. Now Powderhouse Hill was famously known of a place where a lot of different sights of ghosts and lights and different things took place, and thankfully I never did see any of those. But let's go a little farther. Going on up Powderhouse Hill. Now when I was a kid, school buses absolutely refused to run up this hollow, so we had to walk out. Imagine walking all the way down to the mouth of the hollow. First place we come here is the True Light Church of God in Jesus' name. This church was established in 1949 by Reverend Ben Click. And we're going around the curve. Up on this hill was the Johnsons, the Smiths. And look at this road right here. Look at Burley Road. Now you're talking about a great man. A great man of God. Very well known, very educated on the Word of God was Burley Muncie. Burley lived out this road here on Burley Lane. On this side, many years ago, the Dash family from Dash Media lived here, followed by Ben Click, the creator of the church, or the I guess establisher of that certain church. Up on the hill was the Bakers. But this hill right here, this hill used to be so difficult in the wintertime. It's called Dash Hill. Now back when I was young, this hill was not paved, and you had a lot of two-wheel drive trucks, and they were lighting the back end, so they would dig out ruts and holes, and they would have to go up through here with weight in the back of them just to try to make it up this hill, because the hill was just so steep. And with the gravel, and then at that time they put down what was known as Red Dog. And the Red Dog would try to get packed down, but if you spin it out a little bit, you would spin little holes. And it would make it even harder the next time. Now this place is where the bus came. And it turned around right here. Now we would always have to walk, even when I got older, we had to walk to here to get to the bus. Once the bus come up the hollow, this was as far as it would come. It come to here and turn around. So let's get on up Dash Hill. See how steep it is. Car had to kick into overdrive to get up through here. Now this is the area where the Barnetts lived. Raised a big family here. And on the right and on the left. And then the Hagermans. Hagermans is a big family from this hollow. The Barnetts was a big family from the hollow. The Hagermans lived here on both sides of the road. See over toward Burley's place over there. Alfred Muncie lived over there. Now, Miss Prater lived right here when I was young, and one of my earliest memories is growing up. Actually, the old steps used to be right here. And went to her house. Was the old steps. And one of my earliest memories was when her house burned down. It was a pretty bad thing. And I remember it happening. Earl Hageman raised a huge family, lived on this side of the road. Joe Prater on the other side of the road up here on the hill. And Now there's Barnett's and Prater's and my grandma. Now this right here, this used to be a hollow coming down through. Now it's a paved road, but my grandma lived here, and this was called Betsy's Field. And there was an old barn right here, and this old barn had slate siding and slate roof, and my dad would work on cars here, and he had an old milk cow that he would put here on this side. Now on this side is the house that I was actually raised in. This house used to have a huge walnut tree, all types of apple trees, a huge hickory tree in the front. All that's gone now, and but it still brings back memories. Now this hill right here is called June's Hill. Now June's Hill was the place where everybody would come to do that Shop Hollow skiing. They would come down this hill right here and just slide all the way to the bottom on June's Hill. My dad, of course, his name was June. John Muncie Jr. My brother Billy lived here on this side, but also my Uncle Arthur and Irene lived there when I was young. They used to sing a song out on the porch. They had a swing, and they'd come out in the yard and swing, and they'd sing a song, "Send Down the Rain," and I would be like, "Lord, please don't send no rain down. I want to play." And on this side, you had Betsy Harmon's house and Ernie Prater up on the hill, but Troy Sparks also lived up there, and Hanky, and this is the yard we used to play Slaughterhouse in. And with Docky and Waldo and Donald and everybody, we'd have all kinds of fun here in this yard, and we played all kinds of games. This was kind of a level area. We didn't have many level areas. This was kind of a level area for us. So we played all kinds of games right here. And I'm going up the holler here, and the familiar sound of dogs barking. We'll go by Cousin Homer's house. Now on the left over here was where Carmen and Louise Perkins, my aunt and uncle, lived. There's a lot of different places right here. We're going to slow down just for a minute. Now on this side, went up to my Uncle Arthur's house. Got a few bamboos there. And this road went up to where our farm was, on top of what was just called the mountain. Now this road right here took you up to the top of the mountain. Now this road, you're talking about steep. This car would not just possibly even thinking about going up to the mountain. We had a barn up there and different things. Okay, on this side over here is Powderhouse Hollow. Now Powderhouse Hollow, I've actually written a story on Powderhouse Hollow that I'm going to try to publish sometime. Powderhouse Hollow is where we've done all of our playing. Look how grown up it is now. You can tell the difference between kids today and kids when we grew up. That was clean over there. It was grassy. It was sort of semi-level over there, and that's where we played basketball, football, everything else that you can name. We played it over there. Somebody got a pear tree right there. It's pretty cool. But we played all kinds of games over there, and we just enjoyed it and had all kinds of fun there in Powderhouse Hollow. As we're going up the holler, and I want to apologize for all the smears on my windshield here, different way the light's hitting it. I'm passing out where Jess Mounts used to live. Jess Mounts used to ride a mule everywhere. When I was a kid, he had an old long-eared mule that he would ride up and down the hollow, and we called it Jess's Mule. And now Clyde Perkins lives here. As we're going up the hollow, up on the hill here, Cecil and Charlene Bowman I remember them living there. And then you got the Sparkses, Dory and all her children, and Frosty used to live here, and had a bunch of sons and daughters, and just really, really good people. Here in the Sparks place there on the left. Then you have the church parking lot. Church where Clarence Hughes and Claude Perkins and Wilmer Muncie and just different ones that pastored. Now this road to the left goes up to what is called Clarence's Field. And if you keep going, you go to June's Field, my dad's field. Up through here where Clarence and Fanny used to live, and Candy and the prettiest man I've ever met in my life, Claude Perkins, lived up here. And then right here to the side, it used to be, this time of year, it'd be full of corn and potatoes and everything, was Claude's field. Right there, Claude used to grow a big garden right there. Now when I was a kid, this right here looked totally different. This was just a deep hollow right here. And since then, they put drain pipes in, they filled it in and made a parking area for the church. A very successful church. Good people. And we actually played, when I was a kid, this was all dirt. This right here, of course, didn't exist. This was just a hollow they filled in. We played all our football and basketball games right here. And it was dirt, and it was gravel, and rocks. And this is the area that we played, and you can see it's not a very, very big area at all. But it's where we played all that right there at. Okay, we're going on up through here a little farther. One of the best men I ever met in my life, Rose Muncie, my uncle, Roosevelt Muncie. He lived up here on the right. And as you're going up, the workingest man I ever met in my life, Bill Mullins, lives on the left. One of the best preachingest people I ever met in my life, Melvin Muncie, lived on the right. This road right here is called the Gap. And when you cross the Gap, you go into what's called Slate Creek. And over in Slate Creek, you got the Muncie Cabin, very famous. I mean, people come from all over the country to go to the Muncie Cabin. You got Rose's Field. You got Tim's Place. You got Slate Creek. You got Snake Root, Beach Flat. Oh my, the swamp. Underwood. There's so many different places that you can name down through there on that side of the mountain of the Gap. When you're on the left side of the hill, you got like I say, Melvin's and Annie's and Doreen and Harold's and Boo Boo and Richie and everybody else lives on this side, and just all family and just wonderful people. And this is what they call the head of the holler. This is all the way up the holler. It's called the head of the holler. As you look back down toward the church, let's zoom in on that just a little bit. And I have so many memories of this place. A lot of them's good, a lot of them's bad, like wrecking on motorcycles and different things. I came down through on a motorcycle one time, just for no reason whatsoever. Hit a rock, the front wheel slipped, and I wrecked. That's Rose's place. This is the place when I was a kid, man. We used to play all the time in the yard. All the families come together. The Perkinses, the Muncies, everybody came together right here and played all the time. They're going back down the hollow. We don't shop out of places. There's just a few. I know I missed a bunch. I mean, I missed an absolute ton of them, different ones. This place, like I said, is full of ministers. It's full of people who just love God. Business owners, store owners, coal mine owners, car dealership owners, doctors, lawyers, nurses, accountants, just to name a few. Musicians galore. Some of the best musicians that's ever been that came out of this hollow. And a lot of people call it a lot of things. We call it home. It's just a magical, wonderful place. Imagine living this far up and walking all the way to the bottom to catch a bus. Because we was hollow people and they didn't care quite as much about us. But guess what? Through hard work, we overcame. Through hard work and morals and trust in God. You know, this is a place to where, you know, people went to church. People lifted up God. People sought God here in this hollow. And it's just a wonderful place to live. Look at this. And it's just beautiful, man. It's just absolutely beautiful. Wish my windshield was cleaner. It's a narrow road. What do you think, Jess?
It's a beautiful area, that's for sure. I don't know how y'all lived on it. So skinny. Very, very skinny road.
Going back down June's Hill. I used to mow this yard and I thought it was absolutely huge. Yeah, Barbara and Billy lived there, and Tristan, Jerry and Debbie. I used to walk through here, and Mary always had a picket fence, and the only time Mary ever said anything to me that corrected me, I guess, other than Michael, you absolutely perfect, was because I parted my hair down the middle. This was the 1970s, okay? You got to think back. I parted my hair down the middle, and Mary and Mildred, my aunt, said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Michael. Your dad's a preacher, and you're going to part your hair down the middle. So guess what? I put my hair back over on the side, like it's supposed to be, like they told me to do. Now I just don't even part my hair. I just comb it straight back. I'm just glad to have hair. You can see up there the cell phone tower. Now we're going down Dash Hill. Way down the mountain here. Van Baker lived over to the right. Willard and Smith lived over there, and George Johnson lived over there, and then the bottom of Dash Hill where the Dashes lived, and later on the Clicks, and now the best people in the world, Raymond and Debbie Hagerman. Now we're passing the other church in Holler. This is one that I go to, my home church. Actually, people there today. It's True Light Church of God in Jesus' name. And of course we was there also, but we've already left. And of course over on the hill with the Pucketts, and now Coochie lives over there, and her daughter and granddaughter are the ones that are the beauty queens. And actually 2 granddaughters. The second granddaughter's following in Cassie's footsteps, and is also will end up being probably Miss Tennessee and maybe Miss America also. And we're going back past the old shop over the covert, which is the tunnel that goes down under the road here, looking down on Warrior Mines, what they call Warrior Hollow. They think it's a hollow, but it's not a hollow. That's a camp. A camp is a place we wasn't allowed to go to very often because there's a lot of crazy people living in camps, so we stay away from camps. And we're going down the very last hill. It used to be a berm, if you know what a berm is. There's a berm of coal all the way down through here at one time to the bottom with the willow tree into the park. And this is now the mouth of the hollow. And that's it. Jess, how did you enjoy your trip?
It's always a fun trip when we come down here.
Yeah, at least you didn't get car sick, right? I mean, I'm going slow.
Right. There's a car coming. The slower the better. And where the roads fall in, 2 people can't go across in areas.
Yeah. Okay, just to name a few more people that came out of Shop Hollow, football players, athletes. Division I football player Matt Muncy played football at Wake Forest. The only player at Big Creek High was the only jersey ever retired at Big Creek High School, Sam Muncy, and from Shop Hollow, or has his roots. Sam's actually from Shop Hollow, and Matt's roots is from Shop Hollow, and the current sheriff of McDowell County, Boomer Muncy. So there's a lot of people from out of the Hollow that really had success. And of course, YouTube stars. Yeah, well, maybe not go that far, but a lot of people have had success out of the county, out of the Hollow, and we appreciate everyone. And we're proud to say, I'm proud to say I'm from Shop Hollow, and Jessica, whether she knows or not, is proud to say that now her children have roots from the Shop Hollow, and they're going to make great people. My son will end up being a doctor, I hope. And the other son plans on being
a professional football player.
Hey,
you got to shoot for the rings.
Yeah, there you go. But it's all according to putting your trust in Jesus Christ. And remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. See what the road looks like here. But till next time, hope you enjoyed Shop Hollow Places. We're going to try to do some more. If you would, like, share. If you watch this, it's good. It helps us. But if you'll push the like button, it helps so much more. And if you follow us, share us, it helps so much more. So really appreciate everyone. We got a guy cutting his weeds right there. And that's the old road right there. And then we're on, the part we're on now used to be the railroad tracks. The train used to come through here. we're back in Warrior Mines now, so we want to say goodbye to everybody. Like us, share us. Till next video, we'll see you soon.